Deputy Simon Harris. Simon, are you there?
Indeed, Sharon.
You are. You got there in the end with the tightest of margins. Just one to spare.
Well, yes, I think as I've heard some of your commentators say, both today and over the last number of weeks, this was never going to be easy. The hand, I suppose, that the electorate dealt those of us in Leinster House was very complex, and it has taken 10 weeks, 70 days to the day to put this new arrangement in place, this new partnership government. And I think there's an appreciation from the public and indeed from politicians on all sides that it was never going to be simple to get this right, but also a frustration that the process dragged on so long. So I'm really delighted that I've just seen the Taoiseach's car leave here, as your viewers have been watching, to go to Áras an Uachtaráin to pick up his seal of office as Taoiseach and get back on with the job of running the country and providing the country with the type of government it needs, and putting a government in place that tries to best reflect the outcome of the election, bringing new independent voices into government alongside us, and obviously respecting the fact that this is a minority government. It will be very, very different, but very exciting in many ways, and we can try and get on and deal with the challenges that face this country.
Well, that is the question, whether or not this government is in a position to deal with those challenges, given that it's in a much weakened position than it was in 2011.
Well, as the Taoiseach himself said in the Dáil in his acceptance speech only a few moments ago, this will be a very different environment. No Taoiseach, no government will be able to come into the Dáil and say, this is the way we're going to do our business. Rather, you will have to win the argument each and every time, and there's going to be an onus on those that are appointed as ministers by the Taoiseach this afternoon to win the argument, to be willing to listen to the opposition, to be willing to engage with civic society, to come up with the best possible solutions to the challenges that we face.
I think
that is what the people were voting for.
I guess does that type of government by consensus, if you like, government by committee, does it lend itself to effective, strong government that can deal with the sort of problems that this society faces right now?
Well, I think if you were to identify one good thing that has come out of this very lengthy interregnum period, and indeed the election, I think it is the fact that there is now a broad consensus right across political and, I would argue, civic society in terms of what are the challenges facing this country. There are differences in how best to address those challenges, and there's no point pretending this is going to be a cakewalk and that we'll all agree on everything. But we now have, I think, clearly heard from the electorate what they want us to do. They want us to put the fruits of a growing economy to work for society. We're going to have to get used, though, to not winning every vote. The media, respectfully, are going to have to get used to it. Those of us in Leinster House are going to have to get used to it. Governments will lose votes, but that won't mean the end of a government. And the agreement that we have in place with the Fianna Fáil party, which I expect they will honour, the first written agreement between Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil in the history of our parties, will see this government have an opportunity to introduce 3 budgets to try and continue economic recovery, but more importantly to make sure people feel that recovery in their life. But this is going to be very challenging, very exciting, and I'm quite sure a bumpy ride along the way.
All right, I don't have time to ask you about your own ambitions for ministerial positions, because I'm afraid we need to go to a break, but no doubt we'll speak later, hopefully. Simon Harris, for the moment, thank you.
Very much.
We're going to go to a very quick commercial break. Don't go away.